Hi everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to another Sky Sports Fantasy Football video. Today we're looking at the second team and some tips and some reasons as to why you should make a second team in Sky Sports Fantasy Football, as well as some ideas as to how you can go about different ways of using the second team. So before we get started, I'd like to say this video is pre-recorded. It's, what day is it right now? It's Tuesday night right now. And I'm going away on holiday this week, so this video should come out I think Thursday, maybe Friday, and then I'll have another one that's pre-recorded coming out at the weekend at some time, and then we'll be back next week for some more content. But yeah, let's get straight into this one. So starting us off then, we have the block defence. Now this is probably one of the better options for the second team, especially at the start of the season. And as you can see here, we've got relying on a single team to get some clean sheets. So this is basically going for a goalkeeper and a full defensive back line of the same team, hoping that they'll get clean sheets, and then you obviously bag 4 or 5 clean sheets in a row per game week. So for that you want to target the teams with the better fixtures. With this you're basically using your transfers to rotate the defence as you go. So down the bottom you can see we've got Arsenal for the first 3 game weeks. After the first 3 game weeks, the Arsenal games aren't as good, so you don't want to have a full Arsenal defence there. That's where you use the transfers to bring them all out and bring in a new block in at the same time. Now for the rest of the team, you're looking to want to keep them constant in the team. You don't really want to be making transfers elsewhere because you're going to be making a lot in the defence. So players like enablers and Rodri and Enzo Fernandez who get the tiers and you're not going to be transferring them out, they're going to be the kind of players you want in the team, so that you've got the transfers there to take the defences out. So again, possible blocks, we've got Man City there as well. They've actually got more good fixtures there, so you could keep them as a block for like a good 5, 6, 7 games before having to take them out. And then once the fixtures turn, that's when you start to look at bringing a new team in with better fixtures in the defence. Now a good example of a block defence, last season I had the full Newcastle defence from, I believe it was just after the World Cup, so just after the overhaul. I had Pope, then I had Trippier, Shaw and Botman, so I had the 4 Newcastle defenders, which was fantastic because all of them were very, very cheap last year. We had like Shaw at 7.1 or 7.2, Trippier was only 7.8, Pope was one of the cheaper goalkeepers as well, so that was fantastic, and I think that went 6 or 7 clean sheets in a row before having to switch them out. But obviously with these ones, we have Arsenal, you'd have Ramsdale, Gabriel, Saliba, and then maybe we can try figure out who the other defender, the other nailed defender is going to be. And then for Man City, you're going to want Ederson, you're going to want Diaz, probably Stones, and then again trying to figure out who the other nailed defender is. But once you figure those out and you can get the block defences in, as long as you're getting the clean sheets, you're going to be racking up lots of points. Next up then we have the 50-50 transfers. Now this is probably my most popular use of the second team. As you can see, it says ability to go for more differential picks. Now this would be something like you don't want to have, say a Heung-min Son is quite differential this season. Don't want to have him in your main team just in case it doesn't work out, and in your second team you're like, well, why not? If it works out, then you're going to do fantastically. And also, as it says here, makes you feel better when your main pick doesn't return. Now this is more for the enjoyment factor. As you can see the examples here, we've got Isaac, Wilson, Nkunku and Jackson, Salah and Nunez. Basically means you can go for the best pick, someone like an Nkunku in your first team, and then you don't want to go for the same thing in your second team, so you go for Jackson. It's one of those ones where if you're stuck, you don't know who to pick, you can just go for both, and if one of them returns the one that you didn't pick, at least you have something to celebrate about. This happened a lot for me last season. There was times where I was picking Rashford in one team, and then I would pick Bruno in the other team. And it's really good for mainly a lot of the time for the captaincy days when you don't really know who's going to be the best. Or you can pick the safe option in one team. Say Arsenal have Nottingham Forest in a single game day, you go for Saka in your main team, and then you can pick one of the defenders, someone like a Gabriel, in your second team. That way you're covering off the clean sheet in one team and you're covering off the goals and assists in the other team. So for me, I really recommend this purely for the enjoyment factor. and it gives you more options, more players to celebrate for, and you're not left disappointed. And then my final reason for using a second team in Sky Sports Fantasy is to pick the best captains in every game day. Now, it lets you play more aggressively this way. If you've not watched the best captains video already, I suggest you go over and do that. That way you can see all the best captains for all the game days up until the fixtures are announced. And in this instance, as you can see in the example, Bowen captain versus Luton in game week 4. Now, for a lot of people in their main teams, they're not going to be making that transfer, purely because it's not really going to be worth it, because you're not going to want Bowen after that game. But in your second team, if you feel like using a couple transfers, you can take that risk and you can put Bowen in your team and then take him back out, and it lets you have the best captain. And as I say again, with the enjoyment factor as well, if you decide in one, maybe there's a random Monday night game, and in your main team you don't really want to make a transfer, you think, I'm just going to skip this. Your second team, you can make that transfer, and that way you can watch the game and still root for a player while keeping the main kind of structure in your main team. But anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. As I said already, if you don't have a second team already, I would definitely recommend going for it. Even if you have no real interest in taking much, doing much planning with it, it's just good for extra enjoyment. You can play around with two teams, and also if you're in a mini league, a paid mini league, you're able to join in with both your teams, and that way you've got 2 shots at winning. For me this year, I'm going to be entering both my teams into a few different mini leagues that I've got, and again, like I said, it just gives you an extra chance at winning. But shorter video today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. As I said, I'm away on holiday this week, so I just wanted to make sure that I got a video out this week. And I hope you all enjoyed it, so leave a like if you did and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.